They didn't care what was in the pot. All they knew was once you taste Mama Hope's soup, you never stop craving it. In the busy town of Umuaria, nestled between rustling palm trees and narrow red dust streets, there was a food vendor whose name sat sweetly on every tongue, Mama Hope. Mama Hope rice day burst brain. If you chop her goat meat once, ego day your dream. Even the big men for government house day sneak come by her small booker, just 3 benches, 2 plastic tables, and a charcoal stove that puffed all day, sat on Obodo Street, the heart of the motor park. But don't be deceived by the humble setup. From 6:30 a.m., the queue began. Students, geek riders, bankers, even soldiers queued. Rain or shine, she served jollof, native rice, pepper stew, akwobi, and the most tender goat meat in town. But the real star? Her white soup. Ofen sala. White and thick like cream, spiced to perfection, with chunks of goat that melted in your mouth. Yet, no one knew how her business suddenly blew up. Mama Hope wasn't always the queen of Umuaria's pots. She started as just another market woman selling yam and oil, shouting herself hoarse in the heat. Widowed young, with 2 children and no stable income, life had beaten her till her knees hurt. One night, she sat crying in her one-room house, whispering to God and her dead husband, "I don't want to die poor. I just want to be remembered. Let me be something in this life." The next morning, she didn't go to the market. Instead, she borrowed 8,000 Nigerian nairas from her neighbor and used it to buy her first bag of rice, a basin of goat meat, and a borrowed stove. She began with just one food table outside her compound. People came. They returned. But she never sold much. Everything wasn't going fine. It was said that Mama Hope went missing for 4 days. People assumed she had traveled. But only she and the gods knew where she went. In truth, she had journeyed deep into her husband's village in Abia to consult Umuanwu Shrine, a place known only through whispers. She met an old woman there. Blind. Wrinkled. Teeth missing. The woman sniffed her hand and said, "You came here with hunger. But you will leave here with a pot no man can resist." She gave Mama Hope a leather pouch, small, brown, sealed with cowries. "Every morning, sprinkle a little into your stew. Into your meat. Into your white soup. They will never forget the taste. But listen carefully, never cook with this on a bleeding day. It draws spirits. The taste will become hunger. And one day, they will eat themselves." Mama Hope didn't understand the last part. But she was too desperate to care. She returned to Umuaria and opened her new joint, Hope's Kitchen. And from that day forward, she was never the same. The craving that became madness. It wasn't just hunger anymore. It was obsession. Customers would fight at her door before dawn. 2 soldiers once pulled guns on each other over who came first. "Hope's food be like drug," a bus driver once said, laughing. "If I no chop 'em for morning, my body go day shake." Even women who cooked in their own homes began abandoning their pots. "Mama Hope na blessing," they declared. But something strange began to happen. People who ate from her daily, those who craved her white soup, began acting odd. A woman beat her child for touching her soup flask. A man stole 500 Nigerian nairas just to buy her food when he couldn't afford it. Another woman sold her gas cylinder to buy a week's worth of Hope's rice. And still, no one asked why. Until Emeka noticed. Emeka was 17. A quiet, observant boy who hawked bread near the park. Every morning, he watched the chaos around Mama Hope's stall. He wasn't a customer. He couldn't afford her food. But he watched. He watched a man licking bones with tears in his eyes. He watched a mad woman sneak behind her shed and rub stew into her hair. He watched Mama Hope stir her pot, then secretly dip her hand into her pocket before turning the spoon. One day, curiosity pushed him too far. He decided to follow her home. He trailed her through the back road until she entered her house. That night, while she napped after the market, he snuck in through the back fence. What he saw haunted him. Her kitchen was filled with pots, but not cooking pots. Clay pots. All sealed with white cloth and tied with red thread. There was chalk on the floor, dry bones hanging over the window, and a locked wooden box. Then he found the pouch. Brown. Worn. Cowries sewn onto the edge. He opened it and sneezed. It smelled like a mix of dried blood and burnt herbs. It clung to his throat. Suddenly, something shifted in the air. He dropped it and ran. The next day, Emeka returned to the park, but this time not to hawk. He walked to the local government health office. He told them what he saw. They laughed. He told his school principal. She warned him to mind his business. He finally told a young female journalist named Kelechi, who had been investigating strange addiction patterns around the city. Kelechi listened, suspicious at first, then intrigued. They devised a plan. Emeka would pretend to work at Hope's kitchen. Mama Hope welcomed him easily. "You day quiet, and your eyes day sharp," she said. "Na boys like you I need." But she warned, "No enter my second room. That's where I keep my meat spice. You touch 'em, you comet." He agreed. Over the next 1 week, he watched carefully. He cleaned, he stirred, but never went close to the pouch. On the 5th day, he managed to record her pouring powder from the pouch into her meat stock using Kelechi's button camera. They took the footage. Kelechi posted it anonymously. Within 48 hours, the video went viral. Food seller uses powder in stew. What's in Mama Hope's pot? The health inspectorate descended. They raided the joint early one morning with cameras and police officers. Mama Hope was calm. They searched everything. At first, nothing was usual. But when they forced open the second room and opened the sealed clay pot, the room filled with a sickening stench. Inside was meat, preserved in red oil but not goat meat. It had fingers. Small human-like fingers. Screams broke out. Kelechi's cameraman fainted. One of the police officers vomited. They found more pouches. And bones. Hair. Remnants of dark rituals. Mama Hope screamed. They were already dead. "I didn't kill them. I just needed flavor. Just taste, please." They arrested her. In court, Mama Hope broke down. She confessed. She said the old woman told her it was spirit seasoning made from unborn children who died in wombs, miscarried souls that never reached the spirit world. She didn't kill them. She bought the powder once a month from a shrine woman who came to the outskirts of Umuaria. It was just powder. Just to help the taste. Just to help me survive. The town was horrified. Over 300 people had eaten from her every day. Health records showed signs of addiction in over 60 regular customers. Some said they had eaten human meat. Mama Hope was sentenced to life in prison. The shrine woman was never found. Hope's kitchen was burnt down by angry youth. But the madness didn't end there. Some of her customers began to have strange symptoms, hallucinations, fevers, and nightmares. One man stabbed his wife, shouting, "She's hiding Hope's stew from me." Another woman burned her tongue with boiling water, trying to remove the taste. The town declared 7 days of mourning. Churches fasted. Shrines poured libations. And Emeka, the quiet boy, became a reluctant hero. A town that will never forget. Years passed. A fast food joint opened where Hope's kitchen once stood. But no one ever lined up like before. The people of Umuaria now said, "Know who's stirring your pot." Children are told the tale of Mama Hope on moonlit nights. And if you visit Obodo Street today, on some days, just as dusk falls, the scent of white soup may pass by. Heavy. Spicy. Irresistible. But don't follow it. They say it's Mama Hope's spirit. I'm still cooking for those who hunger without asking questions.